decisiveness to catch the slowly closing gate. I had no regrets about leaving him behind. He was not for me. Of this I was sure. Still, I was proud for putting myself out there. Proud, but like I said, defeated. I had hoped against hope that this guy would be different. What is it about defeat that makes us want to go home? My flight wasn't scheduled until 6 p.m., but in that moment, as I climbed into bed with a full face of makeup and tears of exhaustion in the corners of my eyes, I knew I had to get out of Los Angeles as quickly as possible. I was alone in my friend's home. She'd gone to Las Vegas for a birthday party. Her multi-story, split-level apartment somehow felt both empty and cramped. I thumbed my way to the United Airlines app. I knew what to do. Within minutes, I was on the phone with a representative from the airline Premier status line. I allowed myself to find my sad voice. Not a challenging task when you're experiencing the failure of an extended first date. Not that I shared that part. Of course not. Instead, I explained that my dog was ill. Sniff. Could she please help me get back to Houston, and with no change fees or additional costs? It worked. In a matter of minutes, I was booked on the next available direct flight, all penalties waived. Pro tip, the sick dog excuse always works. All's fair in homesickness and dating, and this was both. A small comfort. I set my phone on the nightstand and fell into a listless sleep. I had an 11 a.m. flight to catch. A few hours later, my alarm went off. As I threw my clothes into my trusty purple carry-on suitcase, I couldn't help but wonder, how many more of these dating attempts, big or small, on a plane or at a local wine bar, would I have to endure before I found Mr. Right? It's all I could think of as I headed to the airport. That's how I got here. Here being the line to board the airplane, about to signal a lifeboat. Again, not that I know that. Not yet. Boarding lines are a socially acceptable form of torture. They're messy and interminably lengthy, not to mention inefficient and slow. Not a great thing when you're already feeling crushed by your non-existent love life. Which is why I pull out my phone. Mindless Facebook scrolling is all I have right now. It'll distract me from the weight, if not from my heavy heart. I am shifting from hip to hip when I spot a friend's post with 3 questions. I read each one, answers firing in my head in rapid succession. Are you single? Yes. Are you South Asian? Yes. Do you want to get married? Yes. The next line is a call to action. Then send an inquiry to XYZ email address. I look up from my phone. The gate still hasn't been opened. Ahead of me, group 1 is still impatiently waiting. I read the questions one more time. Can you blame me for thinking it was a sign? For deeming it kismet? If you can, you are not a single South Asian and hoping to get married. I click on the email address and quickly draft a note expressing my interest in participating in the docuseries and inquiring about next steps. I board the flight and turn off my phone. By the time I land in Houston, the response is in my inbox. As we're taxiing to the gate, I reply to the email requesting a 30-minute Skype call with an attached application. I promise the completed forms before our call, which is quickly set up for the next day at 3 p.m. It will be tricky video chatting from my rigid workplace, but I will just have to shut my door and hope I'm not interrupted. I will reply to each question on the forms promptly. I want them to be impressed by my responsiveness. In proper Aparna rationale, I figure no one would want to cast someone who didn't provide information in a timely manner. In an attempt to curtail self-doubt, I fill all the paperwork out quickly and honestly. I'm thankfully not a chronic overthinker. At this point, I'm already picturing myself going through the docuseries official matchmaking process. This could be my chance at finding love, a buoy in the rough waters of dating, a lifeboat. I tell myself not to get my hopes up. The next day, the call goes smoothly. It's casual and laid back. Relieved, I move on with my workday. Early the next week, I receive another email. There was a glitch in the previous call and the audio wasn't recorded, but they enjoyed the conversation with me. Would I mind doing it again? I agree. Of course I do. Being single is like being stranded, and I don't want to be stranded. Another call is set up with a second member of the casting team. After that one also goes smoothly, she reaches out to schedule a third call, this time with my sister, my mother, and me. It feels fast. I hadn't expected fast. It's only been 2 weeks since I first sent the email expressing interest in the Facebook post. Gosh, I'd been in LA when I did that, feeling defeated.